Hi everyone, it's Melissa Davis from By Mimi with Love. It's Saturday afternoon and I thought I'd come on and share some watercoloring with you guys. So this is hashtag Watercolor Wednesday on Saturday. I apologize that it's coming out on Saturday, but I'm doing the best I can right now. Hopefully this coming Wednesday I'll do one because I really love watercoloring, and a few weeks ago I took a 3-hour course in watercoloring, and that really took my watercoloring to a new level, and it made me want to start joining Watercolor Wednesday. And I will have the information about that collab, which is open, in the description box below. Honestly, right now, I cannot remember for the life of me who is hosting that, which is just my brain fog. So, but it will be in the description box, and I apologize to the host. But anyway, quickly I want to show you what I'm using. I'm using Spectrum Noir watercolor markers. I am using the little double-sided bucket from Temu, and I love this bucket. You've got two sides. This is your cleaning side because you can see that it's got the ridges in it. So see how it's pulling out that. Now that this water is murky. But that's really nice to clean your brushes with, okay? Then on this side is your clean water. And you should always have clean water and a dirty water. And it's nice because you can set your brushes in there and after they're cleaned. They also have the holes around the edge for storing your brush. And it also comes and sits on the top. This is the lid, like this. And it covers this, and then this is an actual palette. And I love this because, as you can see, with watercolor markers, you don't get a palette. So I love having this to put my watercolors in, okay? So, let's get started. This is some beautiful paper that was gifted to me by Linda's Creative Life, and it's so unusual. I'm in love with it. It's very textured. It's very thin. I'm not sure how it will react to watercolor, so I have gently taped it down. And let's get started, okay? Now, I'm doing this. I'm making 4 sheets of stationery for another project I'm doing. And I thought about stamping some flowers right here. But before I do, since I don't know this paper, I'm going to try it freehand and see if I can come up with a couple of flowers. So I'm going to use some of my orange, some yellow, some dark green, they call it moss, and this is bud green. It's just a lighter green. Okay. Now, I'm going to get my thin. Oh, another thing about this tub, which I really like, there's little teeth right here that will pull the water out of your brush for you. And then there's this little V over here that will bring your brush back to a nice point, which I also find very nice. So I'm taking my smaller brush, and this is a I could tell you the size if I could see it, but I can't. So I'm going to get just a little bit of that my clean water, and tap it right onto my towel. Just once you get in the habit of that, it keeps you from grabbing too much water. Now I'm going to keep this fairly a little more concentrated as I try to do a flower, okay? So I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to start with a point, and then I'm going to go all the way around, and you saw me flatten my brush as I went. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to start with the point. A little more. And the same thing. Okay. Now I've got this little shape, okay? Now I've got to turn it into a flower. So I'm going to use my bigger brush, and this one is, an 8. Blot it off, and I'm going to come in with my darker color, because I'm going to try to define anyway, a little more water, where my leaves are. Bit different leaves in the flower, right? So there would be one. There's another. And there's another. Okay, so I've got my 3 leaves. And then back here is the other leaves. Still not making a whole lot of sense, but hopefully it will. Now, I need my thin brush again, so I'm going to drop that in my dirty water. Take this through, and I'm going to pick up some of that orange, and I'm going to really define how I'm separating the flower or the leaves, or not the leaves, the petals. And it's starting to take a little more shape, right? And then just, I don't want those to be such lines. So I want the color darker there, but I'm trying to soften the lines. I'm really surprised at how well this paper is accepting this watercolor. I made this flower slightly large, probably larger than I should. I was going to do 2 flowers, but I made it, well, could do a really small one because this one is really large. So I'm going to let what is on here right now dry before I do any more defining. Okay, so while I'm waiting on that, I'm going to pick up a little more clean water, and I'm going to, actually I need my other brush. Let him rest a minute, and we need some more yellow. And let's see what we can do to get another flower over here. But it needs to be smaller, right? So I'm going to make this one just a little smaller. Kind of just forming my leaves now, or my petals. Okay, so you kind of see how that one's taking shape. I'm going to rinse my brush good. I'm going to pick up some of this orange, and I'm going to try to define some of this. It's starting to look like flower petals, I think. I know when we're doing flowers, it's so hard to not make them all exactly the same when we're doing the petals and things. But in nature, no two petals are the same. So, no two flowers are the same for that matter. Okay, so I'm kind of liking that. Soften those lines a little bit. And clean my brush. And I'm going to put some more yellow in here. Smooth out those lines a little with the yellow. Ooh, I'm liking it. Okay, let's add a little more of the orange. We need some more orange. So we lost a little bit of our definition when I added the yellow. So let's just go back in and put that back. My paper is quite wet now. There we go. A little of our definition back. Right? Yeah. Now this one has dried, and I definitely, oops, let me clean that. I'm going to have to clean this palette because I mixed the orange and the yellow. So let's start a new palette for the yellow. Because I want to go back. Let me use my smaller brush, pick up a little clean water, and go back and just add a little more yellow. Soften these lines as well. I'm starting to really like it. I'm just kind of softening my line and adding just a little more yellow. I need to let that dry another second before I try to do that with that. But I'm liking this so far. So I'm going to pause a minute and dry it, okay? And then we'll do the, well, let's do I want to do the stem first before I dry it. So let's get our bigger brush, and I'm going to come in with the dark green. Actually, I'm not going to use our bigger brush. I'm going to use the small brush because we're going to draw a stem, or paint a stem, I should say. So, and let me see if I can see. I just cannot read it, the size of that. So on this one, we're going to have a little bit of a bud cap. Okay. A little bit. I like that. Hold on, guys. Let me get me a drink. Okay. Now, on this one, we can't see a bud cap because you can tell it's, turned over. So we're going to draw our stem right here. There we go. Let me move that up just a little bit. And add just a little more to this. So it have little spikes, you know how they do. I'm liking that. Now I'm done with, well, we're going to do the leaves, but let's put just a little bit of brown in this stem. Just to give it a little more color. That looks good, doesn't it? So do the same thing here. What I've seen with watercolor or acrylics, any kind of two shades look better than just the flat color, I think, anyway. And let's have this little edge starting to brown a little bit. Just for a little interest, why not? Yes. Yes. Okay. We've got a little brown in our stem. So let's get our bigger brush now. And some cleaner water. Let's go into our light green. And we're going to do some leaves. So when I do leaves, you see how I'm laying my brush, because I'm going to start with the point. I'm going to let my brush make my leaves for me. You know what I mean? So I'm going to start with the point coming off. And then I'm going okay. I'm going to do one on this side. Again, I'm going to start with the point. And then I just love it. And then we're going to just do one, a small one on this side. So come to the point, flatten it. Now kind of erase my stem there, but I can always go back and put that back. Let that dry a little, because if I put brown there now, it's going to run into my green. Pick up a little bit more of my green. I'm going to come over here with the point. Point. Very small one. And then again, point. And I'm really liking that. So now, let me pause you and I'll dry this again. And we'll keep working. Okay, I'm back, and the first thing I want to do is, too much water in that. The first thing I want to do is repair, right, what I did with my little brush, or with when I was doing my leaves. So, put just a little bit on him. And just a little bit of dark where the stem should be coming with the leaves, you know what I mean? Now I'm going to rinse my brush again, and I'm going to pick up the very dark green. Definitely got too much water in that, so let's add just a little bit of my dark green and pick it up. Okay, so I'm going to just, where I started the stem, just a little mark. Give some definition to your little leaf. And I really like that, guys. I really do. I think that looks really good. Okay. So, now what I want to do is, they're not grounded. Where did these flowers come from, right? So, here's the bottom of the page. So, I want to ground them in something just a little bit. So, while the rest of the flower, because I'm going to do just a little bit more work on these babies. So, let's get our smaller brush first. And I'm going to pick up some of this brown. I want to dry it a little. And I'm just going to come over here and do a flicking motion. because I want a little brown in this to make it look like it did come up out of the earth. Which is where flowers usually come from, right? So you can see I'm getting a little bit of brown in there. And that's my brush. Pick up a little clean water. And I'm going to go for my dark green. But now that's a very wet brush, so take a little of that off. And it's starting to look like there's a little bit of grass in there. A little bit of dark. Oh, that's really starting to take shape. Now we're going to put a little bit of the green. Or the lighter green. That was green. Yep, I'm paint my brush in the dirty water. And the clean. Take off a little of the water. And again with the flicking motion. I'm adding this bright green. And that's really taking shape. Now I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to my palette. Take my thin brush again. I'm not adding a whole lot of water because I really want this pigmented. And then I'm just going to put little yellow dots in the grass just to give it some life. Let me move the camera down a little so y'all can see. There you go. See the little yellow dots? So I'm just touching everywhere with my brush. Just gives it a little highlight, a little bit of interest. As if the flower is shedding yellow. See how it starts to look? I just think that's so pretty. Okay. Move the camera back up just a little. And I'll rinse that brush again. Take it through and dry it off. And then we're going to do just a little bit more work on our flowers. So I'm going to add some orange. And some more yellow. And here we go. Pick up some clean water. And pick up a little bit of this orange. I want a good color, but I don't want the brush really wet. And I'm just going to do a little brush strokes to keep this making sense. Because I want it to look like a flower. That just adds a little dimension to it, you know, or seems to me. Yeah, I really like that. I'm going to go over here to this one and kind of try to do the same thing. Oh, I'm really liking it. What do you guys think? See, just a little touchy. Because we want it to be happy. And I really like that. I think that looks really cute. One thing that I do want to do, this is how I took the art class, because the art class came with this Academy pen set, and there's electric permanent markers with it too, alcohol markers, and I took that class as well, but I will share that with you guys another day. So, but it comes with the Spectrum Noir opaque white paint pen. And so I'm going to shake that up. And come right over here with this little dots. With that. But then I want to take my needle and just barely pull those down. And I do like it. Now, the last thing is, this is going to be a part of a bead kit that I'm selling. So I want to add some little beads. I'm going to do one more over here. Okay. Great. Those look great. They look absolutely great. Now I'm going to take the yellow and go directly on my page, because I want it that intense. I want the color that intense. Okay. And then I am going to grab me an art marker. Let's see what size this is. Nope. I'm really fine one. Oh, gee whiz, right. Very nice. I had it at one point. Here it is. Okay. Grab this little paint, or this. The two stripes on my B. And then once again, and the blue, the yellow, Tweety butt, right? And then we have the wings, right? So I am going to pull a very gray Copic, and this is C0, yeah. And I'm going to dab that onto his wings. And I think I am finished. Oh, this video took a minute, but don't stay if you're not interested in watercolor. Buzz to the end, just see what I've done. Now we're going to remove our tape. And see what we think. Oops. Well, I just think that turned out beautiful. I'm happy with it. I think this flower is a little big, but that's okay. It still makes for very pretty. I can't believe how well this paper took watercolor, right? It's not wrinkled it at all. But I think that makes a very cute piece of stationery. Now, I also have stamps I could stamp flowers in. And I may try that and compare the two. You know, how they would look. But I'm very happy with this. I think it turned out great. Really had fun doing it. I learned a lot from my watercolor classes. So, yeah, I'm happy with this. Please let me know what you think. Be honest, but be kind. And from Virginia, guys, I will be talking to you really soon. Bye-bye.